This video is going to be proving triangle congruence using side, angle, side. So we're going to trace the angle onto paper, so this angle here, then place the vertex on an end of each segment one at a time. Trace the segments each onto a ray of the angle. Close the triangle by drawing in the third side. Compare your triangle with another student's triangle. Are they the same? So the first thing we have to do is trace this and then move it over here. So that's the first part. Next, I want to trace this segment and then match the vertex that was right here to this vertex here. Then I'm going to trace this last segment in blue and go ahead and move it over here. And now we want to line up this end that had the letter A with this vertex here. Now I'm going to close the triangle by drawing in the third side. Now if we were together in class, we would be able to compare our triangles to each other. What you should find is that if two sides and their included angle, so included, think of their touching angle, are congruent on two triangles, then the triangles are congruent. So everybody used this angle, which was represented right here, and then everybody should have used these two segments. So the black segment was here, this one was my blue one. So we have a side, we have the same angle, which was here, and then another side that was the same. So we have side, angle, side. And if we compared all of our triangles, because we used the same side, angle, and side, all of our triangles would be congruent. So next we're going to write some triangle congruency statements with side, angle, side. And these ones tend to be a little bit easier just because the angle kind of helps us determine the order in which we're going. So for this first one, if I start up here and go D, C, N, that would be congruent to W, A, H. And then you want to check your corresponding and congruent sides. So we have DC would be congruent to WA, and those are my first two letters in the name of the triangle. And then CN, which is here, congruent to AH, which is here. So like I said, knowing where the angle is kind of helps us get the order right. Let's look at letter B. This one is a little bit more difficult. So let's look at this top triangle right here. I'm going to name this one triangle JCN. So starting at J, going towards C, and going towards the N. So if I'm going towards the angle here, then on the second triangle, I want to go towards the angle again. So I'm going to start at Q and go towards the N. So that means that the name is going to be triangle QN, and then the only other way to go would be to C. And you know that because they share this side in the middle, the reflexive property makes it congruent. So if we look at letter C, if we look at our diagram, we have a triangle here and a triangle here, but our angles are missing. But there is an angle relationship in the middle here that would give us a side and then an angle and then the sides. What angle relationship is this? The angles in the middle are vertical angles. So if I said triangle WXT, so starting at W, going towards the angle in the middle, and then towards T, the other triangle would be named HXB. So triangle WXT is congruent to triangle HXB. In letter D, we also have vertical angles in the middle. And if I said triangle JMP, so starting at J, going towards the middle to M, and then out to P, how would you name the second triangle? The second triangle should be GMZ. So starting on the outside of the segment that has the 1 tick mark going towards the center, that means we would take the same side with the 1 tick mark, starting on the outside going towards the center, which is M, and then out towards Z. Next, we're going to use vertical angles in a triangle proof to determine that triangle FNA is congruent to triangle VRA using side angle side triangle congruence postulate. So let's first look at our given information. We know that segment NA, which is right here, is congruent to segment RA. So RA is right here. So segment NA is congruent to segment RA. We are also given that A is the midpoint of segment FV. So here's A, segment FV is this one. So that is also given information. What would go here? Because A is the midpoint of FV, by definition, it will cut FV exactly in half. That means that FA is going to be congruent to VA by definition of a midpoint. So segment FA is congruent to segment VA. Then we have triangle NAF. So NAF is right here. And then triangle RAV, or not triangle, angle, I'm sorry. So angle RAV, these are going to be vertical angles. So now for each of the triangles, I have a side, an angle, and a side. So now we can prove that triangle FNA is congruent to triangle VRA. If we think back to previous units, there are other angle relationships that are created by parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So we're going to use these ideas to prove triangles are congruent using side angle side. So if we look at this first example, we have segment RK is congruent to segment TP. So RK is here, TP is here. Next, we're given that segment RK is parallel to segment TP, and we mark those with the green arrows. Next, we're given angle TPK. So TPK is up here, and then you're given RKP. So RKP is right here in the bottom. So we can do these angles this way because these lines are parallel. So think back to your angle relationships. What kind of angles are these? They are alternate interior angles. So here's your two lines. They're interior because they're between the two lines but on separate sides of the transversal. This will then lead us to the reflexive property of congruence, which is a hint that there is a shared side. So that's going to be your reflexive property. So segment PK is congruent to segment KP, and we can mark that with two lines. So now we have a side that's congruent, an angle that's congruent, and then a shared side, which means that's two sides that are congruent. So now we can prove that triangle RKP is congruent to triangle TPK. So anytime you are given parallel lines, you can mark alternate interior angles. Now let's take a look at an example with perpendicular lines. So we have two triangles here. We're first given that NB is perpendicular to NH. So NB is perpendicular to NH. So we would want to put a little box right there. Next, we're given that segment JH is perpendicular to NH. So we would want to put another little box right here to represent these two being perpendicular. We are also given that segment JH is congruent to segment NB. And because all right angles are congruent, I can say that angle BNH is congruent to JHN. Our next reason is reflexive property of congruence, and we use reflexive property of congruence when there is a shared side and there's a shared side in the middle. So that means segment NH is congruent to segment HN. So now we have a side, angles, and another side that will make these triangles congruent. So we can now say that triangle JNH is congruent to triangle BHN by side angle side triangle congruence postulate. Something you want to remember that anytime you are given perpendicular lines, you can mark right angles. For this last exercise, you're going to determine whether or not there's enough information to determine if these triangles are congruent by side, 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 or side, angle, side. If they are congruent, you're going to write a triangle congruency statement and give the reason you know the triangles are congruent. And the reason is either going to be side, 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 or side, angle, side. If they're not congruent, you can just write not enough information. So let's take a look at letter A. I notice a side right here with 1 mark, and then another side right here with 1 mark, a common angle that looks like they're congruent, and then a side with 2 marks. So is this going to be side, 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 angle, side, or not enough information? Because we're given side, angle, and a side, it's going to be side, angle, side. So the hardest part will probably be naming the triangles. So I'm going to start at the A and go towards the angle and towards the side that has the 2 tick marks. So triangle ABC is going to be congruent to triangle RTN. Because if I start here and go towards the angle and then towards the side with 2, it's going to match what I did over here. And again, this was side, angle, side. Let's take a look at letter B. We have sides and angles. Do you think these triangles are congruent? These triangles are not congruent because if you notice on this triangle, the angle is between the side with 1 and 2 tick marks. Whereas in this triangle, the angle should have been here to do side, angle, side, but it's not. It's on the outside. So this one is not enough information. For this next one, we can see that these 2 sides are congruent, these 2 sides are congruent, and anytime there is a shared side, that shared side is going to be congruent. So this triangle, I'm going to name it PYT. That triangle is congruent to triangle PCT by side, side, side. Let's take a look at letter D. I know I can mark vertical angles here, but you have to pay attention to where these marks are and how the other triangle is marked. So this angle is between the 1 and the 2. So we have angle WXT. And if we look at how that compares over here, it should be HXB if I wanted to do side, angle, side. But this side is marked as congruent to this one, or as it should be this side. So the triangle on the left does have side, angle, side, but the triangle on the right has side, side, angle, which that doesn't exist. So this one is not enough information. If you look at letter E, we can mark vertical angles again in the middle. So we appear to have a side, an angle, and a side, an angle, and a side. So these ones are congruent by side, angle, side. And if I named triangle DMB, how would you name the second triangle? It should be triangle JMR, and make sure you write that it was side, angle, side. Letter F could be a little bit tricky. So we have this segment is congruent to this segment is congruent to this segment. We don't know if segment HN is congruent to segment LW, so I can't mark those. And I don't really know anything about these angles. They're not vertical angles, because the vertical angles look more like an X. So these have to be extended here to make vertical angles. So this one for letter F is not enough information. Let's take a look at letter G. I can see right here that there is a shared side, so I know that those are going to be congruent. So let's just look at this triangle on the top. It looks like I have a side, an angle, and a side. So this one looks like it's side, angle, side. But if we look at this bottom triangle, I have a side, and an angle. So that was side, side, angle. Notice that these don't match, so letter G is not enough information. Looking at letter H, we have segment right here is congruent to this segment. So it looks like segment UF is congruent to segment AN. And we have these little lines here, or arrows. These little arrows mean that UF is parallel to AN. What can we mark with parallel lines? We can mark alternate interior angles. So if this is a transversal, you have one angle here and another angle here on different sides of the transversal. And then we can also mark the shared side in the middle. So it looks like we have side, angle, side right here, and then side, angle, side right here. So triangle UFN is congruent to triangle ANF by side, angle, side. Let's take a look at letter I. So we do have these arrows again. That's the notation for parallel lines, which means I can mark alternate interior angles. So they're inside the two parallel lines and then on opposite sides of the transversal. So one on this side, one on the other side. And then we can also mark the shared side in the middle. So for this triangle, it looks like we have a side, and an angle. So that would be side, side, angle, which, as we've seen before, doesn't really exist. And then on this side, 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 angle. But our only two choices are either side, 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 or side, angle, side. So for letter I, we technically don't have enough information. If you look at letter J, we have parallel lines again. So we have parallel here and parallel here, which means I can mark alternate interior angles. And then we have the shared side in the middle. So what do you think? Are these triangles congruent? These triangles are not congruent because on this one we have side, side, angle, whereas on this one we have side, side, angle. So there's no such thing as side, side, angle. It's only side, 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 or side, angle, side. So letter J was not enough information.